The world of reality television thrives on family dynamics, heartwarming moments, and often the unavoidable clash of personalities. TLC's 7 Little Johnstons offers viewers a unique lens into the lives of a close-knit family living with achondroplasia dwarfism. But beneath the surface of sibling bonding and parental advice lies a complex web of emotions, rivalries, and unspoken tensions, none more evident than the ongoing estrangement between Liz Johnston and her sister Anna. The latest development in this long-running tension? Liz has reportedly excluded Anna from her wedding party, a move that fans and family members alike are struggling to ignore. As Liz Johnston prepares for what should be one of the happiest moments of her life, her wedding to longtime boyfriend Bryce Bolden, attention has shifted from floral arrangements and guest lists to one notable absence. Anna Johnston's name does not appear among Liz's bridesmaids. The omission sent shockwaves across the show's fan base, many of whom have watched the Johnston siblings grow from children into young adults. While sibling disagreements are nothing new, this decision appears to be less about logistics and more about long-standing emotional distance. For years, fans have sensed an undercurrent of tension between Liz and Anna. Though both women have shared the screen together on countless occasions, their interactions often come across as guarded or superficial compared to the warm, easy bond Liz shares with her other siblings, particularly Emma and Alex. Anna, for her part, has often seemed more of an outsider, carving out her own space within the family, but rarely being given center stage in moments that matter. Social media only fanned the flames when eagle-eyed fans began piecing together wedding party clues from various Instagram posts and stories shared by Liz, Amber, and Emma. Photos of Liz with her bridal party clearly showed Emma and several close friends donning matching robes or attending pre-wedding events like the bridal shower and bachelorette weekend. Anna, conspicuously, was nowhere to be seen in any of them. No photos, no tags, no comments. The silence was deafening. The news didn't remain a secret for long. Fans flooded Reddit forums, Facebook groups, and Instagram comments, demanding answers. Some expressed outrage, others disappointment. A recurring sentiment among viewers was sadness. Many felt that Anna deserved better, that she had been unfairly sidelined, not just in this moment, but throughout her time on the show. Speculation turned into debate. Was Liz's choice purely personal, based on the quality of her current relationship with Anna? Or was it a reflection of deeper, possibly unresolved family dynamics? Some believe Amber and Trent's influence may have played a role, given their often controversial parenting style, which has drawn criticism over the years. Viewers have pointed out moments when Anna seemed treated differently from her siblings, whether in terms of emotional support, academic expectations, or personal freedom. There is also the issue of communication, or the lack thereof, between the sisters. While Liz has a reputation for being independent and headstrong, Anna is seen as resilient, yet often more emotionally sensitive. Despite their shared upbringing, their personalities and life paths have diverged in meaningful ways. Liz has consistently walked the traditional route: high school, college, long-term boyfriend, and now motherhood and marriage. Anna, meanwhile, has forged her own entrepreneurial path, balancing college and running a successful Etsy business, all while navigating her place in a family that often feels like a team in which she's been left on the bench. To Anna's credit, she hasn't publicly addressed the wedding snub directly. However, she did post a cryptic message to her Instagram story shortly after wedding-related photos began circulating online. The post read, "Sometimes silence is louder than words. Protect your peace." Paired with a simple black heart emoji, it didn't take much for followers to draw conclusions. The timing felt too coincidental to ignore. In private circles and across social media, fans have shown unwavering support for Anna. Messages flooded her posts, applauding her grace, resilience, and independent spirit. Many noted how, despite being excluded, Anna has maintained a dignified silence, focusing on her business, studies, and personal growth, rather than airing family drama online. That kind of maturity and strength hasn't gone unnoticed, and it stands in stark contrast to what some are now describing as Liz's cold move. From a broader perspective, this incident sheds light on the real pressures families face, especially those living in the public eye. The Johnstons have always tried to present themselves as a strong, united front. But fans are now seeing that unity can be fragile, and that behind the curated scenes of Sunday dinners and family vacations lie deeper complexities that reality TV can't always smooth over. Some longtime viewers argue that Anna has been the emotional punching bag in the family for years. They recall episodes where her achievements received less fanfare or when her concerns were downplayed during family discussions. Her adoption story, being one of the 5 Johnston children adopted internationally, adds another layer to the dynamic. Although all Johnston children are loved, fans have long speculated that Anna's emotional needs weren't always met with the same understanding as the biological children's. On the other hand, there are those who defend Liza's decision, suggesting that a wedding is an incredibly personal event. They argue that brides have every right to choose their bridal party based on current relationships and emotional closeness, not necessarily familial obligation. In this view, Liz's decision may not be an intentional snub, but rather an honest reflection of where their sisterly bond currently stands. As one fan wrote, "You can love your sibling and still not be close to them. That doesn't make you cruel, it makes you human." Still, questions linger about whether this moment will push the rift between Anna and the rest of the family even deeper. Will this exclusion become the wedge that drives long-term separation, or could it finally open the door for an honest reckoning between sisters? Could a real conversation help mend the relationship? Or is this a signal that the damage is already beyond repair? As fans await the upcoming season, they hope the show will address the growing tension rather than edit it out. TLC has often taken a hands-off approach when it comes to deeper emotional conflicts within the Johnston household, but this moment feels too pivotal to ignore. Viewers want transparency. They want resolution, or, at the very least, acknowledgement. Interestingly, while Liz's relationship with Bryce has largely been met with fan approval, especially with the recent birth of their daughter, Layton, this move has slightly shifted public opinion. Fans who once rooted for her journey are now questioning her judgment. It's a reminder that personal milestones don't exist in a vacuum. Every decision, particularly within a televised family, carries emotional weight and public scrutiny. As for Anna, she seems to be focusing on herself more than ever. With whispers of her possibly relocating, expanding her business, or even being offered a spin-off, her future looks promising. If anything, the wedding snub may serve as a catalyst for her to fully embrace her individuality, and for TLC to recognize that audiences are more than ready to follow her journey. At its core, the situation between Liz and Anna is about more than a missed wedding invitation. It reflects years of subtle exclusion, emotional disconnection, and unspoken hurts that have accumulated under the surface. Whether it ends in reconciliation or continued distance remains to be seen. But one thing is clear, the fans are watching, and they aren't afraid to hold the Johnstons accountable. The Johnston family, known for their tight-knit, yet occasionally tumultuous dynamics on TLC's 7 Little Johnstons, recently stirred up buzz after fans noticed a glaring absence during their tropical getaway to Puerto Rico, Anna Johnston. While the rest of the family shared sun-soaked photos and joyful moments on social media, Anna was nowhere to be seen. For a family famous for documenting nearly every milestone and memory together, this exclusion didn't go unnoticed. Now, the reasons behind Anna's absence are becoming clearer, and they shed new light on the deep-rooted dynamics that continue to shape her role within the Johnston clan. For fans who have followed 7 Little Johnstons over the years, Anna Johnston has always stood out. Not just for her quick wit and independent streak, but also for the recurring theme of her feeling like the outsider in her own family. While the show often focuses on the family's collective achievements and celebrations, sharp-eyed viewers have long picked up on subtle tensions between Anna and her adoptive parents, Amber and Trent, as well as her siblings. The family's recent vacation only amplified speculation that Anna is still seen, whether explicitly or not, as the black sheep of the Johnstons. Photos from the Puerto Rico trip showcased the rest of the family: Amber, Trent, Liz, Bryce, baby Leighton, Jonah, Emma, and Alex, enjoying beach days, boat rides, and vibrant local cuisine. It was a picture-perfect vacation, filled with bonding moments and laughter. But as fans combed through Instagram posts and episode teasers, many were left asking, "Where's Anna?" With no photos, tags, or mentions of her presence, it became increasingly clear she hadn't joined the family. And that absence spoke volumes. According to several insider reports and subtle clues from Anna's own social media activity, the rift between her and the rest of the family is more real and more painful than TLC's polished portrayal might let on. Anna, who has been living independently for some time, has been focusing on her personal business endeavors and academic life. She's previously opened up about the challenges she's faced trying to earn the same level of trust and respect as her siblings, especially when it comes to decision-making and responsibilities. In the past, fans have witnessed Anna being reprimanded more harshly than the others or sidelined when it came to big family decisions. Even her college achievements or entrepreneurial ventures sometimes seem to be downplayed in comparison to the other siblings' milestones. Though the Johnstons often preach unity and love, Anna's experience appears to reflect something more complicated beneath the surface. When followers questioned her about why she missed the Puerto Rico vacation, Anna remained composed and classy. She didn't air grievances or place blame. Instead, she shared a few casual photos of herself relaxing at home, working, and spending time with her friends. But her silence spoke volumes, and fans didn't hesitate to jump to her defense. "She deserves better," one fan wrote. "Anna always shows up for her family. It's heartbreaking to see her excluded from something so special." Another commented, "They need to acknowledge that Anna is being treated differently, and it's not okay." Adding fuel to the fire, some viewers recalled that Anna was also absent from other recent events, including a family baby shower and birthday celebration. While the show has not directly addressed her absence in these moments, speculation has only intensified. Was she not invited? Did she choose not to attend due to ongoing tension? Or has she been slowly pulling away for her own peace of mind? The term black sheep isn't thrown around lightly, but in Anna's case, it's one that she's unfortunately had to confront more than once. In a past season, she candidly admitted feeling left out and even misunderstood by her family. Her honesty struck a chord with fans, many of whom praised her for standing her ground and not being afraid to speak her truth, even if it meant stepping on some toes. What's particularly notable is how Anna's journey contrasts with that of her siblings. Liz, for example, recently welcomed a baby with longtime boyfriend Bryce, and her storyline has largely revolved around the joys of new motherhood and family support. Meanwhile, Jonah has openly struggled with anxiety and independence, and the family has rallied around him. Emma and Alex, the youngest of the group, continue to be celebrated for their achievements, social lives, and personal growth. Her absence from the family vacation to Puerto Rico seems to be the latest in a series of moments that highlight this emotional and physical distance. And while neither Anna nor the rest of the Johnstons have publicly addressed the situation in depth, fans are reading between the lines. The silence, they argue, is just as telling as any explanation. Some observers have suggested that Anna's growing independence, financially, emotionally, and socially, may actually be part of the reason for the divide. As someone who runs her own business and has carved out a life separate from her family's expectations, Anna may no longer fit neatly into the mold the rest of the family operates within. And that difference, while admirable to many fans, might be perceived as resistance by others. The family's trip to Puerto Rico, intended as a joyous escape, has now become a talking point for division, a visible reminder of what remains unsaid on camera. While viewers have come to love the Johnstons for their humor, resilience, and love, this situation reveals that even the most televised families have layers of complexity. Yet through it all, Anna continues to carry herself with dignity. She hasn't lashed out or sought to villainize anyone. Instead, she appears focused on her goals and self-worth. She's built her own business from the ground up, pursued her education, and developed a strong network of friends outside the family bubble. For many fans, Anna's story is one of strength, even in the face of emotional hurt. Still, viewers are calling on TLC, and the Johnstons themselves, to do better. They want to see Anna's voice heard, her perspective shared more authentically, and the family dynamics addressed with honesty. As one fan put it, "We don't need more beach photos, we need real conversations." As season 15 continues to unfold, many are hoping the show will tackle this ongoing tension head-on. There's an opportunity here, not just for storytelling, but for healing. Whether Anna will be given that platform remains to be seen. But one thing is certain, her absence hasn't gone unnoticed, and the love and support from fans speaks volumes. The Johnston family, known to millions through their long-running TLC series 7 Little Johnstons, has always shown the power of resilience, love, and unity. But even for a family that has weathered personal challenges in front of the world, the recent loss of Trent Johnston's father, affectionately known as Poppy, struck a deeply emotional chord that has shaken their tight-knit clan. Trent Johnston, often regarded as the backbone of the Johnston household with his calm, humorous, and pragmatic demeanor, faced one of his most difficult moments yet. In front of family, close friends, and cameras capturing the rawness of reality, he delivered a heartfelt eulogy honoring the life and legacy of his father. The moment was not just a tribute to Poppy's memory, but a window into the emotional core of a man rarely seen shedding tears on screen. From the earliest seasons of 7 Little Johnstons, viewers got glimpses of Poppy, a man of quiet strength, deep values, and an unwavering support system for his son and grandchildren. Trent often spoke of the influence his father had on his life. Whether it was instilling discipline, a strong work ethic, or the belief in treating others with kindness, Poppy's presence loomed large. Their bond, though not always front and center on the show, was foundational. Trent would often refer to Poppy with admiration, sharing anecdotes from childhood or moments when his father offered guidance during parenting dilemmas. "He was my compass," Trent once said in a past episode. "Whenever I felt lost, I knew I could call him." The death of such a figure was not just a personal loss, but one that rocked the entire family dynamic. While the family had previously shared concerns about the health of Poppy, the final goodbye came faster than expected. After a brief illness, Poppy passed away surrounded by loved ones. The news was quietly confirmed by Amber Johnston in a heartfelt social media post that expressed their devastation, but also gratitude for his long, full life. In the days that followed, the family retreated from the spotlight to mourn in private. For a family that has shared everything from hospital visits to weddings on television, this moment was sacred and deservedly intimate. But the cameras would soon return, not to exploit grief, but to document how even in the hardest moments, the Johnstons continue to choose honesty and connection. The funeral service, attended by relatives, family friends, and several community members, was deeply emotional. But nothing could have prepared anyone for the moment Trent stood before the podium, attempting to put into words what his father meant to him. Visibly shaken, Trent began the eulogy with a trembling voice. As he looked over the crowd, his eyes welled with tears. "My dad wasn't a perfect man," he said, pausing often to steady his voice, "but he was perfect to me." Those in attendance later described the moment as gut-wrenching, beautiful, and one of the most human things ever witnessed. Trent spoke for nearly 20 minutes, recounting stories from childhood, his father's unwavering support, and the little lessons Poppy left behind: how to fix a leak, how to apologize with dignity, how to laugh even when things get hard. Midway through his speech, Trent broke down completely. Unable to hold back tears, he admitted, "I'm scared without him. I've always had him to call. Even when I didn't take his advice, just hearing his voice made things better." Amber rose from her seat and gently joined her husband at the podium, placing a hand on his back. It was a small gesture, but it reminded everyone that even in grief, they stood together. Beyond the tears, what stood out in Trent's eulogy was the emphasis on legacy. Poppy, according to Trent, never sought attention, never wanted praise, but everything he did, every sacrifice, every quiet act of love, was to build something better for his family. "He wasn't a loud man," Trent said, "but his presence filled a room. His absence now, it's deafening." Poppy's legacy, as recounted by his son, was evident in how the Johnston children carried themselves. Trent shared how Poppy had once driven 8 hours just to be present for Alexa's school recital, or how he had offered to help Emma build a birdhouse for a school project, even in his 80s. Each story underscored how deeply involved he was in their lives, despite age or distance. For Anna, Elizabeth, Emma, Alex, and Jonah, the loss of their grandfather was just as profound. In personal posts made following the service, the siblings shared memories and photos that reflected a man full of life and warmth. Anna, who has often been candid about feeling like the black sheep of the family, wrote perhaps the most touching tribute. "He loved me no matter what. Even when I felt alone, he made sure I knew I wasn't." Elizabeth shared a photo of Poppy holding baby Leighton, writing, "4 generations in one photo. I'll show this to her when she's older and tell her how much he loved her." Jonah, often reserved in emotional moments, posted a single sentence: "Thank you for every talk we had when I needed a man's advice." Each tribute spoke volumes about the unique bond they each shared with their grandfather and the gaping hole left by his passing. As the family's grief became public, fans of 7 Little Johnstons flooded social media with messages of condolence and encouragement. Some shared how watching Poppy in brief appearances reminded them of their own grandparents. Others noted how seeing Trent cry made them cry too. "He's always been the strong one comment read, "but even the strongest break. That's what makes him human." The support was not only emotional but tangible. Viewers sent cards, flowers, and even started small donation drives in Poppy's memory to causes he cared about, especially veteran services and community food banks. The weeks following the funeral were understandably somber for the Johnstons. Filming continued, albeit more gently, with the focus shifting to how each family member coped with the loss in their own way. Amber spoke in a later confessional about how grief isn't linear. "Some days we laugh remembering something he did. Other days, it just hurts." She also highlighted the importance of giving each other space to grieve differently. Trent took time off work and household responsibilities to spend time with the kids. Whether it was fishing with Alex, cooking with Emma, or just sitting quietly with Amber, it was clear that he was honoring his father by being present with his own children. The family also hosted a small celebration of life event a month after the funeral. Held in their backyard, it included Poppy's favorite foods, a slideshow of old photos, and the planting of a tree in his memory. Each grandchild placed a note beneath the roots, personal letters to Poppy, sealed with love and tears. While life inevitably moves forward, the loss of Poppy has left a permanent mark on the Johnston family. His spirit lives on not just in photos and stories, but in the values he passed down to his son, and in turn his grandchildren. Trent has since said in interviews that he feels his father's presence often, in the wind, in a well-timed thought, in moments of silence. "He may be gone," Trent shared quietly in a final clip, "but he's everywhere around me." That enduring connection between father and son, grandfather and grandchildren, is what fans and family alike will remember most.